We're actually in Taylor County. This one used to be Talbot County. When the homestead and cemetery was here, it was Talbot County. It's Taylor County now.
We're definitely coming up on some interesting stuff here. We're on it. We are on an old plantation in ruins. Just the ruins left. The cemetery's got to be nearby too. Cecil? Cecil? And hey everybody, it's Robert coming to you with another adventure into history. I'm deep in the woods of Talbot County, Georgia today, and I'm out here with Cecil, who is off in the woods. We have been sent on a mission to find an old cemetery. The first clue to finding the old cemetery was to find the old home site. And then the old cemetery was supposed to be about 40 yards past the home site. We have finally found the home site. You can tell because of the old partly filled in open well here. See, that one's not too exciting, not too deep. No real sign that there was ever a home here other than the well, the hardwood trees, and the privet hedge. Now, privet hedge is an invasive plant that tends to stick around any old home site you ever found. Sir?
That's a brick pile over here.
Oh yeah, okay. Yep.
Old brick.
Yeah, it is. Sure enough, there's a lot of it here. So if the well didn't do it, the brick confirms the home site. Now this is that old plantation era brick we often talk about. This brick would have been cooked up on the local plantations out of the red clay.
Which the cemetery we're looking for is from 1847 to 1851.
This looks like this was salt glazed brick too. I think that's, just type of glazing that would be on this brick right here. But I'm not sure if that's what that is. It's cool though. You find these and they have fingerprints in them. There's one that's got, I know of, that exists, that has a hoof print in it. And when you find fingerprints in it, most likely it's a fingerprint of an enslaved individual who would have been the one actually making this old brick. It's very different than modern brick. And it definitely was glazed. You can see it on the side there. And it was in looks like it was fire too. It's very different than modern brick or even late 1800s brick because it's very ununiform and each piece is unique. And I think it's really incredible when you find one that has a fingerprint or something in it because, that's fingerprint from the 1840s preserved in it, and the fingerprint of someone who was, most likely enslaved making these bricks. So home site confirmed, and the cemetery is supposed to be about 40 yards.
40 yards from the home site, if we're on the right home site.
And we've been looking for it for about 4 hours now. Sun's going down on us now, but more brick. A lot more brick. It is incredible to think that there was a house here that people were living in, and probably dates back to the earliest settlement times, as early as these graves are. We don't have a name for this plantation site yet, a name for the family.
I suspect it's going to be the Butt family.
Gotcha.
It's a cemetery I know is supposed to be in this area that I have not located yet. And it's this right time frame.
Those fingerprints on it? They are, aren't they?
Yep.
Yep, there you go. You can see where somebody raked their fingers across it while it was wet. Or maybe they were holding it like you just did, yeah. These are, last pieces of evidence, of archaeological evidence that there was ever a structure here. I tell you, when you're studying the history like this and you find an old home site that's been completely erased and you think that, people lived here, this was their home at one time. And to think about the people and realize that there's nothing left and we're having a hard time finding even where they've been buried. It'll make you realize real quick how time just keeps marching on, and how many people have come and gone. It's incredible to think about. So we're definitely on the home site here. So now we have to find the cemetery. Wish us luck. It only took us 4 hours to find the home site. People often ask how we find these places, and this is kind of some clues for us, reading the context clues in the land. Like this area has not been clear cut. It's not old growth, but it hasn't been clear cut. It's been kind of left alone. So we've got older hardwood trees here. Cedars, always good to look for cedars.
Some more brick.
Yeah, more brick.
We're actually in Taylor County, this one.
Taylor
right.
County. Oh snap.
Used to be Talbot County. When the homestead and cemetery was here, it was Talbot County.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's Taylor County now.
It's interesting to note, I've talked about it before and just want to throw it out there again, that with these kind of sites, we are in the middle of nowhere today, but this did not always used to be the middle of nowhere. There was obviously a plantation here, and people were here, and people move out and it returns to nature, and then people move back in. We've just crossed out of the hardwood section back into planted pines where the cemetery would probably not be. All of these trees, you know, if you were to have looked at, if we could look at it as it was back when this was a home site, there would be no trees here, because when the early settlers came here, they cleared out all the trees and turned it all into cropland. If you look at a lot of old photos, you don't see many trees because of that. There is exact evidence of what I was just talking about. Back when all that's around us now are fields. Let me know if you have any idea how old that is. So I think, as per typical with Adventures into History, we've lost Cecil. But I saw these. I think these grow native too around here though, but you find those a lot around cemeteries, any kind of evergreens. Look at this too, this old road bed right here. So you got some corrugated tin in it too. This old road bed right here, I mean, isn't it funny to think that this was something that was probably relatively well traveled at one time. And now we're just in the middle of nowhere. I don't know what I heard. I thought it was like Bigfoot or something. We're gonna find this cemetery. Trying to find it before Cecil does, but we'll see what happens. We're definitely coming up on some interesting stuff here. So this is another home site right here. So we've definitely got this is probably all part of the same plantation. I mean, we're still close enough. Could have been a sizable plantation. We've got a chimney here. Well, this one has got a fieldstone base and brick at the top. See, that same plantation era brick, so we're still in the same era. Probably not to, look at that one. Oh, that one's gorgeous with the salt glazing on it. You can really see it on this one. It's got a lot of mortar on the back, makes it look really thick, but look at that. This is some kind of salt glazing that they would do when firing these bricks. That's a gorgeous one right there on top. This may have been overseer's house, or, you know, something else connected with the plantation. mostly filled in well right there. Could also be a flower pit, which was used, flower pits were used like cellars for cold storage in the summer and keeping flowers alive in the winter. We're on it. We are on an old plantation in ruins, so the cemetery's got to be nearby too. Should probably find Cecil. All right, so while I was finding another home site, Cecil beat me to it. Somehow, I walked right by it. Wow. And he said it is the Butt family.
I went back and reread the directions he gave me, and yeah.
We do it really.
He said when you get to the big oak tree at the home site, go directly past it about 40, 50 yards, and here we are.
Well, this reading directions pays off sometimes. But had we found this, I wouldn't have found this other incredible home site down there, which is probably like, overseer's house or something like that.
I'll go check that out when we get done here.
Yeah. Only issue is I need to go grab my flashlight.
Yep.
And we'll get this documented. I also have a brush. People will be surprised and shocked that I have one. But since I've upgraded my mobile preservation office, I've been able to keep more of this stuff in there. So let's see. Here we go. This is a little child.
Sarah A. Butt, born
November
20 something. There's a mistake on this.
I know, right? That's what I was just looking at. Unless that's a 4. And
I do have death dates for them.
Sarah A. Butt, born November 27th, 1853. Departed this life October 9th, it says 1851, but that may be either a mistake, like Cecil said, or it could be a 4, because sometimes the little triangle on the 4 is really faint.
Oh, Sarah Jessie N. Butts. Can't be right. That's not even close on the date. Mary Watson there. Supposed to be born 1813, died 1857.
Yeah, that looks right.
27th November 1853. The death date is 1854. Gotcha. Get a picture with no light and then with light. All right, put the light on.
So this says Mary A. Watson, born September 23rd. He said 1813.
Yep.
Right. Yep. 1813, departed this life November 26th, 1857. So still not a very long life. This was a box tomb, just like that one over there and that one there, but it's been knocked all in pieces.
This one fell too. It was a box tomb.
Yeah. So this is Jessie N. Butt, born April 22nd, 1849. Departed this life May 16th, 1852. And Thomas N. Butt, born October 13th, 1838, and departed this life June 12th, 1841. These are some sure enough old graves here. This is definitely looking at an early settlement. Did you get that with a light already?
Yeah. I still got to get this one.
Oh man, thorns. Thorns and more thorns. See if that's good for you. All right. Okay. So
there are 2 other unmarked here also.
I wonder where they're at. I think that, judging from the woods around here, I think this place got ran into during a logging operation. The reason I say that is it doesn't mean anything about the box tombs falling apart, because that happens. They do that. But if you look around where I'm at right now, this is planted pines all around me, and nothing really old here, which tells me that this place got ran into. And if you look out here in the woods, the soil's all been disturbed out there, like it's been, kind of bulldozed or something at one time. I wonder if I thought that was just part of the box tomb, but.
I was double checking.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's a good idea. Yeah. Just part of the
with
box.
the edges like that. It's
Yeah.
only a box side. And that one's got the cut for the pin.
Right. And anytime we're on an old plantation, if enough people died during the time of slavery, there's typically burials of enslaved individuals on old plantations, but those are the ones that have little to no marking. So if they were ever here, they've definitely been erased. And again, I'm saying that because we're in planted pine right now. If you've got planted pines this close to it, that means, cemetery is typically not going to survive a logging operation that's come through and knocked a bunch of stuff around, and they come back and replant. We've actually got some sign of that right here. This is an old stump here, sawed off, right here behind the graves. It feels like there should be more, doesn't it? Like
I'm wondering if that clearing right there is.
I don't think it's been run through any time recently, but years ago, I can see it happening. And I've walked pretty much all of the woods from over there back. That's where I found that other home site. When you start seeing those palmetto or whatever, the pointy Spanish bayonet, maybe, whatever plants, then that other home site's down there. And I didn't see anything over here, but doesn't mean that it didn't used to be. All right, so we did it, folks. We found it. This old plantation cemetery. We've got 3 kids, 1 adult here. It feels like there should be more. We're going to try to do some post research on it. If we find anything else out amazing about this place, we will come back for a return visit. Otherwise, you can always find us on Facebook on the Official Adventures into History fan group on Facebook, and we've got some extra information on there too sometimes as we learn about these places. Plus, it's a great community of people, of researchers and stuff on there. But incredible old cemetery, never before documented in any kind of visual way, not on Find a Grave, right?
One old picture of, I believe the smallest one is on there, but I don't know when the picture was originally taken. The guy that told us about it said that he's had the hunting lease since 1953, and as far as he knows, nobody's ever come and visited that he knows of. Never been cleaned up around her.
And truly just another one that's lost in the woods. Oftentimes with children's graves, they definitely fall into abandonment because since they never grew into adulthood and had descendants, nobody comes and visits them. So these 3, but surely they have relatives living today. And surely Mary Watson has some descendants around somewhere, you would think. Maybe not. But we found them. Again, it feels like there should be more. If this was a sizable plantation, there are typically burials of people who were enslaved around. Don't know if that's the case here, but seems like it might be. But if it was anywhere near here, I think it's been erased, and otherwise we just don't know. This is like 1,000 acres or something, right? Close to it, of pine woods now. There used to be people here. They moved away long ago. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Subscribe to my other channel, Adventures into Preservation, to see some more kind of behind the scenes preservation work that we all do on the cemeteries, and we will see you next time.